Okay, folks, welcome back to Let's Play Rumble Rose's Sgt Clemets story. This one for me has lacked the... It's not quite as much fun as playing as Rowdy Rayco, because Rowdy Rayco goes, "Up yours!" in the sweetest voice imaginable, whereas Dixie basically just goes around going, "Blah, blah, I'm Southern, blah." But, I've got to admit, there's a beautiful piece of dialogue there when, Dixie said, "You're under arrest for speeding, murder, whatever." But yeah, let's stop and think here for a moment about these Rumble Rose's alternate characters. There's only a couple of characters, Bloody Shadow, Candy Cane, and Evil Rose, who default as heels. Heels being, for those of you who are not in the know, what wrestling fans call bad guy characters. The good guy characters you're supposed to root for are faces, and most of the characters in this game start out as faces. Now, the heel characters who turn into faces sometimes have some kind of storyline explanation for what's going on, but for the most part, the faces that turn into heels are just their storyline. It's basically, I lost a match, and the fans turned against me, and I became cynical and jaded, and that's pretty much what it's all about. And almost all of them, without exception, when they turn heel, they're basically the same character they were as a face, except wearing skankier clothes and being bitchy. Because part of being evil when you're a woman is being skanky. The biggest two exceptions, I guess, are probably, Eigel has a pretty dramatic shift. But for the most part, yeah, they just turn into evil versions of what they used to be. And these two, Rayco and Sgt Clemets, turn into bikers for whatever reason. One of them is a sort of biker punk, and the other one is a biker cop. Now, there have been many examples over the years, and if you're really sick of listening to me talk, go ahead and skip ahead a minute, I won't mind. But there have been examples over the years of exciting, dynamic characters who just change a great deal over the space of, like, a fictional work, I've never read Pride and Prejudice, but Mr. Darcy I've heard him given as an example of somebody who just seems really cold and bad, and you don't like him at the beginning of the book, but as you begin to find out about him, you really understand him better. And I'm assuming that he also changes as the story goes on. Maybe he wasn't such a great example. Video game example, I've been watching Shady Knight's Let's Play of Final Fantasy X. He keeps railing against those fans who just hate Titus a lot. I think Titus is kind of annoying, but I will admit that, he starts out the game just kind of whiny and petulant, and it seems a bit full of himself. He's got all these whining about his dad going on, but by the end of that game, folks, he's facing literally, no spoilers, but he's facing an impossible situation. He is just not looking at a happy ending. And he mans up and he deals with it, and you gotta hand it to him. By the end of that story, he's grown a little bit. I don't think there's really any example of a character who goes through a smoother, more natural, more believable, and more dynamic progression than Rayco, who starts out going like, "Hi, I'm from Japan, I'm nice, my mom is dead," and ends up going, "Up yours, I joined the Road Warriors." Sgt Clemets comes close with her transformation from, "I'm from Texas, I want to fight Rayco," to, "I'm going to shove a nightstick up your ass, Aisha." Which she didn't actually say that, but, that's what she's thinking. And not in, like, an erotic way, in a, like, I'm going to beat you down kind of way. So, sorry for putting that idea of nightsticks being shoved into people's orifices into your heads. Didn't really mean it that way. But in this game, it's almost certainly how that would go if it were to happen. Let's just get back to beating down Aisha, shall we? Now, she does get a nightstick to use as a weapon in Double X. But it's just like she hits people with it. Unless there's like a top secret button combination, I don't know. There's no insertion involved. Double X throws some, kind of out there stuff at us, but doesn't quite go that far. This is my god-awful humiliation move here. Oh, which I totally didn't set her up for, so it's not going to work. I would have to do a lot of this to get that to work. Although it does humiliate, so that would work. Alright, everybody counter everything for a while. My whole big, long, ludicrous speech at the beginning of this was meant to stretch things out. Now I'm doing poorly enough that, although I really shouldn't be, I'm worried about, oh man, am I going to, like, blow this and, like, actually need an extra video. Now I've got, like, over 10 minutes. All I've got to do is just beat Aisha. How hard can that be? Hey, everybody, beat Aisha! Oh, if she counters everything, it would be a bit harder, but... I forget it, just... Alright, no more fancy stuff. I'm just gonna camel clutch. So we're all go home. Although I kind of want to now get a body submission. Body submission machine. Who wants a body submission? Just stay there, man. Sorry. I was, the sudden, spontaneous, unexpected return of Swan in Rumble Roses. Maybe Swan is out in the crowd watching this, like, you know. He and Mercy are married now, and while they generally get along, he sometimes likes to go off and see, you know, Mercy's philosophy is like, I don't care where he works up his appetite as long as he eats at home. So she lets him go to see Rumble Roses shows where he's sitting in the crowd and watching Dixie knock down Aisha and yelling, just stay there, woman! But of course his favorite is Eichel because of the sheep connection. Sorry. Alright, let's get... Wait, I just beat you.
I'll let it slide for old time's sake. But listen good.
Okay.
I'm the law, and you better watch yourself, sugar.
Watch myself, sugar? What do you mean?
Dixie be trippin'. Listen to yourself.
Listen to the trippiness!
I'm just fine, and I am the law.
I'm the law!
Get my way before I mow your ass down.
Game loves using the word ass.
Get back here, PD fool!
PD fool?
Maybe I'll go shoot up the town.
What? I think I'll go kill innocents.
I love being a cop.
I should try it sometime, since clearly I'm an insane stripper, not a cop. Anyway, folks, that's really not a particularly erotic picture there. I mean, the red lights, and the glow, it just kind of looks irradiated. Sort of assume that the final image that they leave you with of all of these girls is meant to be kind of hot. But no, with Sgt Clemets, we're just left with an image of an irradiated, insane stripper. She does, however, have like awesome generic rock music. I mean, it's, you know, rockin'. I like it. I approve. And now it's time for this music again. Oh, goodness. Alright, folks, so let's see. I always tell them to go off into a rambling mode in the final video of any Let's Play. And these Rumble Roses, it's just like, it's a bunch of little tiny Let's Plays, everybody's story. But I've got to come up with some way to wrap up Sgt Clemets' story and tie this whole thing together. How do you summarize something like Sgt Clemets? Well, I've already mentioned that pretty much all of the girls who start out as baby faces and turn evil, their story is, I lost some matches, I got jaded, and I went bat-squeak insane. In Dixie's case, this involves becoming a stripper/cop. Is there any particular I mean, they could have given her... She could have been wearing, like, a cop outfit, right? Hear me out here. She could have been wearing a cop outfit that was kind of revealing, maybe just, like, really tight. And, you know, so that it would still continue to be, like, you know, sexy, whatever. That wasn't basically just, like, you know, something a stripper would wear. She could have... I mean, they could have made this at least a little bit more like she's actually a cop and not just an insane stripper. But, you know, I'm almost certainly overthinking this. I'm putting more thought into it than, you know, the designers did, clearly. They're just like, you know what people like? People like strippers dressed as cops. They, like, handcuff you to something, and then they dance around while you're, like, handcuffed. And, like, handcuffs are erotic, right? Handcuffs are always erotic, even if it's Roddy Rako handcuffing you to a freaking car right before it blows up and giving you a hacksaw so you can chop off your forearm. Let me tell you something, pal. That's the most erotic forearm chopping off situation you're ever going to find yourself in. Hey, Makoto. But, no, they just really decided that they wanted to have, like, a cop stripper. Maybe the problem is that they just, they decided that they wanted to come up with a certain number of characters, and they wanted to give everybody an alternate. And, yeah, they didn't necessarily have a good alter ego in mind for all the characters. And they were like, you know, we really want to have a really, spunky, nice Japanese character, and we also want to have, like, a, you know, sort of naughty Catholic schoolgirl type. Let's make her alter ego the naughty Catholic schoolgirl type. And somebody's like, no, no, no. We've decided the naughty Catholic schoolgirl type is going to be Canadian, so she can't be the Japanese girl. It's like, well, there's Asian people in Canada. It's like, no, no, no. There's not. Trust us on this. Not in my thinking. So we couldn't. They came up with a certain number of ideas for characters they wanted to put in there. They didn't necessarily have a way to just make it work so that they only had, like, one alter ego and one character per arc. Like they had characters they wanted to cram in there, where they didn't really have a good idea for an alter ego, and that's where you end up with, you know, insane stripper character, who to me seems like that's the character they wanted to get in the game. But then they were like, oh crap, well, she's got to have some kind of good form. Well, let's just make her a cowgirl who also looks like a stripper but doesn't mention law enforcement. And I was like, beautiful, go with it, I love it. And that's how we ended up with Dixie Clemets. But I've rambled on long enough, folks. I got this video to go over 10 minutes, and that's good enough for me. I can't even remember who I played after I played as Dixie, so I'm going to have to go back to my own channel to figure out who to play as next, because I've decided to take the thinking out of it and just play the alter egos in the same order. Which means that, although she's... Oh, got a text. Okay, well, I better just knock it off here. All that means for certain is that Black Vault Demon is going to be last. A nice, sweet farewell to this game, and I'm completely out of reasons to Let's Play it. Will be my favorite character in the history of anything. But that'll have to wait for another time, folks. This is Mysterious JG signing off. Thanks for watching.